I call Thomas Hayward.
Mr. Speaker, I believe that this is one of the most important youth parliaments. When I look around, I thought I would see some of my fellow members smiling in pride. However, I am not smiling, but speaking with a heavy heart. What concerns me the most is the sheer amount of change that must be carried out with robust debate to ensure youth prosperity is not stagnated in the future. If I want to mitigate my emissions, there are a variety of greener alternatives, like using an electric vehicle or planting a tree in a sensible area. But sadly, an easier option is to cough up the green stuff called cash, and through a transaction, I've magically offset my emissions, making my journey net zero. This mindset of paying a fee to write your consequences has little change for the environment. Some may argue that it does, as by paying for these fees, it allows for the carbon credits industry to expand. But what is not being seen is the impact on other industries. The growth of carbon farming has resulted in the rapid expansion of this industry. Despite COVID-19 interruptions in 2020, 25,000 hectares of beef and sheep land was sold and planted into trees. This expansion is resulting in agriculture, the backbone industry of this country, becoming weaker. Every New Zealander deserves good quality, affordable food. However, plantations procuring productive primary pasture is placing pressure on our food producers. All people in New Zealand interact with the industry daily, from our larger cities to our smaller rural communities, as no farmers equals no food. With this all occurring, food prices will inevitably rise. A balance needs to be struck to allow New Zealand and youth to meet our climate commitments targets, while making sure food prices remain stable and not adding to the squeezed middle and cost of living crisis. Society's urge to be net carbon zero must be achieved through actual results while not hindering our ability to feed our nation. This can be achieved through where sensible legislation is passed that restricts the sale of our most productive land into trees, but also allowing for areas to be planted that offer little to no food to our economy. Our responsibility to the climate must not be ignored. There is a place for both the carbon and primary industries to interconnect. But as a nation, we cannot hinder our ability to feed ourselves and produce an income for society. As a society, we're all equals and all face issues head-on. And for us to meet our climate commitments, this mindset must be adapted and not blame single industries. The dairy industry knows the carbon footprint of each milk solid sold and produced, but do you know your carbon footprint? Before we can all move forward, we all must take a collective responsibility. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
I seek leave of the House to move a motion without notice and without a debate that the House acknowledges the serious risk and need for action to protect our primary industries in light of the foot and mouth disease outbreak in Indonesia.
Leave is sought for that purpose. Is there any objection? Appears to be none. You may move the motion.
I move that this House acknowledge the need for action surrounding the risk of foot and mouth disease by declaring an emergency in the context of foot and mouth due to the catastrophic impacts that this disease outbreak would have on our primary industries, but also for all of us sitting in this room in regards to food security and the economic stability of this country.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. I call Zoe